Real life graphs, section 8.2, page 115 onwards. This may take 1 or 2 videos, we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, this is question 2, grade E rated. It says that water comes out of a tap at a rate of 125 millilitres every second. So that's a very key figure to have there. Copy and complete the table for the amount of water coming out of the tap. Well, obviously in 0 time you get 0 water coming out. After 1 second we've got 125. For 2 seconds we're going to double up, that's 250 mils of water, about a mugful. In 3 seconds I want 3 of these, which is 375. I will pick up my calculator if I get stuck. 4 of these, well, it must be 2 lots of the 2 seconds, so that's going to give us 500. And for 5 seconds add on extra 125, 625. Doesn't really require a machine, but right, now draw a graph to show this info. Well, clearly 0, 0 is a valid number. Doing, doing. After 1 second, 125. Really hard to plot. 100, 150, 200. So 125 is going to be right in the middle there. That's the best way I can judge it. 2 seconds, 250. That's quite easy to do. Right there. 3 seconds, 375. Well, that's 350, 400. 375 right in the middle. 4 seconds, 500. No problem there. And 5 seconds, 625. 6, 650, 625. Draw a graph. Well, I've plotted the points. Drawing a graph means put the line in as well. So let's see if I can do that quite well by dragging it across. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. That's jelly good. Use your graph to find how much water comes out of the tap in 3.2 seconds. So that's what I'm looking for. 3.2 seconds. So 3.5, 3.2 is about there. Now let's use the straight line facility. I'll try and read off. Right, 3.2. Hit it there. Hit the graph sort of like that, and then turn left. Well, that's nice. So nicely designed question, or I fluked it. So 3.2 seconds. Hit the line, turn left, show the examiner what you're doing, and get your marks. How much water comes out the tap after 3.2 seconds? 400 millilitres, volume of water on the left there on the y-axis. How long does it take to get 200 millilitres of water out of the tap? Well, now we're working the other way, aren't we? So 200, hit the blue line, then come down and let go. Show the examiner what you're doing. You're going, hit my blue line, and then read down. So we've got about 2.6 seconds. Sorry, 1.6 second. 1.6 seconds to get 200 millilitres, a small mug worth of water. Now, it says a kettle holds 1.7 litres when it is full, and we're told that 1.7 litres is 1,700 millilitres. How long will it take to fill the kettle using the tap? Well, every second gives me 125 millilitres. So how many seconds then? We're going to take, let's just work over here, we're going to take our 1700 millilitres, divide by 1 second's worth of volume, which is 125 millilitres, and however many times that goes into that, that's how many seconds. I will now grab my machine and do this. 1700 divided by 125, and it will take 13.6 seconds to fill the kettle from the tap. Alright, it's a lovely little question, isn't it? Very nice, very neat, very elegant. The next one is a complete nightmare because I've studied it before starting the video, and I'm hoping to be able to get it to work. Right, this is an enormous question spanning 2 pages. In fact, it takes half a page in the book on page 116. Not very nice, is it? But it's got to be done. So here we go then. It says, I'll just read from the screen. Budget pens supply pens to schools. Yeah, makes sense. Their prices are shown in the graph. Right. Large orders get a discount. That's good to know. Then it asks us, go to black, what is the cost of 80 pens from Budget Pens? Right, 80 pens. Oh, really hard to read, so let me try using this line facility again. 80 pens, well that's 2 squares back from 100. Hit that, turn left, show the examiner what my brain did. I went up there, and turn it. That's not too bad. 80 pence costs a tenner. So let me just write it up here. 10 squids. A school buys 80 pens. What is the cost of each pen? Okay then, so I'm going to take my £10 note and divide that by 80. Well, I happen to know that comes to 1,000 pennies divided by 80. Lose that, and I can see straight away it's 12.5 pence. Yeah, because an eighth is 0.125. Again, use a calculator if you're not sure. You're allowed in this unit, so it's 12.5p a pen. And since you can't buy, just one only, and therefore the half p is not an issue. As soon as you buy two, you're going to be charged 25p, but they won't, sell them at that sort of rate anyway. Right, part C. What is the cost of 250 pens from Budget Pens? 250 pens. Go back to my line facility. 250. Hit the line. Turn left and try and read it. Show the examiner what your brain did. You went up and you turned left. So 250 pens will cost 2021 £22. So there you go, £22. How many pens does a school have to buy from Budget Pens to receive a discount? A little bit more cryptic this. Right, look at this. From 0 to 100 pens, you get charged at this rate, and from 100 to 100 onwards, you get a slightly reduced rate. As you can see from the gradient of the line, it's less steep, so the price goes up less quickly as you buy more and more. So when do you start getting a budget? You start to get a budget after 100 pens. So how many pens does a school have to buy from Budget Pens to receive a discount? So the best answer is over 100 pens. In other words, as soon as you hit 101 pens, whoosh, you're into the less slanted line, the less steep gradient. Okay. Then it talks about cheapo pens. Well, what I've done is redone the graph again to allow for cheapo pens. This will go to the end of the question, hopefully it will fit in the video. It says cheapo pens are a rival company who also supply pens to schools. They charge 9p for each pen, no matter how big the order is. So in other words, it's a flat rate. So copy and complete the table. Okay then, do this in red. Well, 100 pens cost 9 quid, 200 pens will cost 18 quid, and 300 pens will cost 3 lots of 9, which is 27. Obviously 0 pens cost nothing at all. Copy the graph and add a line to show the cost of cheapo pens. Well, okay then. I know it's a straight line relationship, so I'm going to go from 300 pens costing £27. So I'm going to try and use this. 27, 2 squares, I think it's going to be right there. Really hard to judge, because unfortunately they've got Budget Pens sitting there. Let's try 200 and the 18 then. That might be easier. 200 and the 18. That's really, really hard to judge as well. I think it's about there. Anyway, it's a linear relationship. I'm going to try my best to whoosh straight through that using this red line. So I know 0 costs 0, so if I aim for that one, hopefully I'd get it half right. Alright, I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to label it something. So that one's going to be cheapo. There you go. So quite ugly really. I tried to get it through that one and that one. It's the best I can do. So do forgive me if you don't like it. Copy, yeah, done that. A school wants to order 150 pens. Which company is cheaper and by how much? Alright, well let's show the examiner what our brain is doing. Use of the line facility. 150 pens. Oh, I don't want red. I want blue. 150 pens. Try again. Oh, missed. Put it there. That's better. 150 pens. Let's hit the cheapos and turn left. And let's hit the budgets and turn left. It's so hard to judge this. I'll give you the best answer I can give anyway. So we went up and we turned left and we turned left. So which is cheaper? Well, we hit the cheapo pens first. So which is cheaper? And by how much? Okay, so cheaper is cheapo pens is cheaper. And by how much? Well, I see 2 squares there roughly, so you're looking at £2. Alright, you don't have to read off the cheapo one and the budget one. You can see the spacing between them is £2, so that's good enough. When do budget pens, this is H, when do budget pens and cheapo pens charge the same for the same number of pens? Right, and how many pens is this, and what is the cost? Right, I'm looking for where the pens overlap, and I think from my rough graph we're looking at something like that. So I think I want to do another one of these line facility things. I think, let's go green, the best place to plant this is about here. Again, just from what I've got, I'm going to, oops, it slipped a bit. Anyway, I think if I do that and read down, read the question again. When do budget and cheapo charge the same? Okay, they charge the same. The charge is about £20 from what I can see. How many pens and what is the cost? Okay, it's approximately £20 for 230 pens. Is that okay? Again, judging by the accuracy that I can produce on the screen with my little pad here, that is the best I'm going to do for you at the moment. Alright? Okay, just rearranging this. So, a school sells pens to students for 10p. This is I. 10p each. They use budget pens as a supplier. How many pens do they need to sell before the school itself starts to make a profit? Well, if we consider the school as like a supplier to the students, if they, for example, sell 200 pens at 10p each, that's basically £20, isn't it? Or if they sell 300 pens at 10p each, that'll be £30. That's a little bit off my scale. Or is it? Let's just try it. So if I go for 300 pens at 10p each, is £30 right there. I'm going to try and make a graph for the school. So let's see what we've got. And let's use a different colour so it stands out. I don't really fancy any of these. Let's just try. Again, I tend to go for purple really, just so it stands out differently. Alright, so the school. Obviously 0 pens, 0 sales. If I drag it to there and stop, that's that. Now, the question says, how many pens do they need to sell before they start to make a profit? Well, if you look at the purple line for the school, beyond this point here, they've gone above the black line of budget pens. So we need to look very carefully where these things cross. It's really hard to see. What I'm going to do is actually get off this main screen like so, and then enlarge it. See if I can get a close-up of that. Right, so I'm looking at what happens. Right, let's have a look. Might have gone too far actually. Right, I'm looking at the figure right here. Right, okay, so I think that's budget there, the black one, and that's the school. I think we're going to overlap around here somewhere. So if that's the case, then I think we have about, if that's 150, 160, we've got about 155 pens or so. So if the school buys 155 pens, and so it's really hard actually writing like this, just to rub that bit out. If the school buys 155 pens and sells them for 10p each, I think we've matched the black line of budget pens, and so everything above 155 pens, again just working on my crude estimation there, should be alright. I don't know why it's not working, this little part here. Anyway, there's be an arrow there. So that's that. I make that there for 155 pens, bare minimum, in order to break even, after which time the school's in profit. So let's go back to full screen now and reduce it down a little bit. Oopsie daisy, no, away from full screen. Reduce it back down to normal. Right, full screen, lovely. Right, what's next? It says a second school buys pens, 300 pens from budget pens, well done them. How much they need to sell each pen for so that they don't make any losses at all, and give your answer to the nearest penny. Well, 300 pens from budget, if you look over here, cost £25. So here I go. 300 pens cost £25. So I've got to find the cost of each pen, haven't I? So it's 2,500 pence divided by 300. I happen to know that's exactly 8.3 recurring pence, because 3 goes into 25 8 times and 1 left over. Well, that's 8 1/3, so it's 8.3 recurring pence. Now, watch out, it says give your answer to the nearest penny. If you do that, you'll be forced to call it 8p. Trouble is, if you go below 8.3 recurring, you're making a loss, and the criterion says how much do they need to sell each pen so that they don't make a loss. Well, got to be 9p, hasn't it? Mathematically, that's crazy, but in order not to make a loss, you've got to go to the nearest penny, at which you'll make, you'll make a profit. So it's 9p per pen, and I'll stop that section of the video